Roger that.
What is up, guys? It's Alex with Comp Designs. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a galaxy portrait effect in Photoshop today. It's super cool. You can use your own pictures. You can use it as a logo. There's a lot of uses to this, and it shows you some techniques that you can take and apply in other places. So I just have this new document here. Just gonna call it whatever you want. I got Galaxy Hair 1920 by 1080, and we're gonna hit OK. And then you're gonna need a picture of a galaxy. So you can search for those on Google. I have one. All the pictures, the two pictures you're gonna need today are in the description, a download of those. So if you want to follow along with the exact images, you can do that. So you need a galaxy picture, and you need a model picture. It can be a guy, it can be a girl, it can be really whatever. The way I'm going to do this tutorial, it's going to be in a way so that you can do this yourself with whatever subjects you'd like to use. I recommend a pretty normal background, as you're going to need to be cutting the model out of this background. Alright, so we're going to unlock our layer. We're going to do the quick selection tool by pressing W, and we're just going to be selecting this model now. Can be pretty blunt with it. This is the part where having the plain background really benefits us, because it's able to distinguish. The quick selection tool is able to distinguish between the model and the background really well due to the colors. And that looks pretty good. So now that we have our selection, we're going to press Ctrl J. And what that does is duplicates the layer. So if we turn off our background layer, we now just have the model. So pretty good stuff there. All right. Now while we're selecting the model layer without the background, we're going to press Ctrl J. And that duplicates the layer again. So I'm just going to turn off the background layer for the sake of simplicity. Select your topmost model layer, and we are going to come over to Image, Adjustments, and Threshold. And what Threshold does, it takes all the color out, and now you're just working with black and white, which is pretty good because Photoshop works really well with black and white colors, allowing you to do some pretty neat tricks. So we're just going to adjust the threshold to however we like. If you go more to the left, it gets whiter. If you go more to the right, it gets blacker. She looks terrifying here. But right now what I'm looking for is some nice texture in the hair, as that's going to really be the main subject of this photo. So something around, something like 72 works pretty well with this photo. And you'll notice that her face is a bit blown out. Like over here, her face area, you can't really see it. We're gonna fix that, so don't worry about it too much right now. So 72 is pretty good. I like how the hair looks. Let's continue on. So we're gonna drag this other model layer above the one we just adjusted with threshold. And we're gonna use the lasso tool, pressing L, and we're just gonna cut out her face, which sounds really terrible, but it's not that bad. You could even use the magnetic lasso tool or polygonal lasso tool. It really doesn't matter. Just however you get a selection around her face, doing a pretty blunt outline, as you can see. That's pretty good. We're gonna press Ctrl J once you have your selection, and that cuts her face off. So now if we turn off the layer that we just cut, you see we have this. So we're going to do the same thing again. Select your face layer, go over to Image, Adjustments, and Threshold. That already looks pretty good. You can see now that she has a face again. So I kind of want her lips to be a bit fuller. There you go. It's a bit subtle, these differences, as whatever is black right now is going to be reflected as the galaxy. So keep that in mind while adjusting your threshold levels. Pretty cool. So now if we turn off this face layer, we can see what it looked like before. and now after. Before, after. It's better. But I don't necessarily like all the details of it. So we're gonna zoom in here. Make sure you're selecting your new black and white face layer. And I'm just gonna erase some of this excess stuff, so her face looks a bit more natural. Just gonna come through and erase whatever you want. I like to get rid of some sharper angles. All right, just clean up the hairline a bit. And you can see I'm not erasing this because obviously we have the other hair layer still. So you can be pretty aggressive with your erasing as, there you go. Because the main reason we have this face layer is for her eyes, her nose, and her lips, and a bit of her chin. Can even maybe fill out that a little bit. But for the sake of the tutorial, we're just gonna carry on here. So now, let's delete these regular color images. So press Control to select multiple. Just delete them. Does not matter. Then select these two layers, and we are going to merge them. And now they're not separate layers anymore, so keep that in mind. So from here, we're going to double click the thumbnail of the layer, and we're going to come down to blending options, this blend if gray. And we're gonna drop out the white just by adjusting the top little arrow here. That's great. All the white is completely gone from our image. Press OK. And now create a new layer. Select both layers and merge those layers again. So now what you have is a vectorized piece of the black and white model you just made. So this is completely sizable now. You can make it 1,000,000 pixels big, but be careful because with the threshold tool, it makes certain things pretty square and angular. If I zoom in enough here, you can see her lips aren't very smooth. It's very blocky. It's just a bit of what the threshold tool does. But it's fine. So what I like to do now is use the eraser tool by pressing E, size it up using the left and right bracket keys, and just get rid of whatever excess you don't necessarily like about the image. So a bit of her fist was there, and just up here, I don't necessarily like that strand of hair. So this is pretty good. I like this a lot. So what we're gonna do is now drag this model over to our Galaxy hair file that we had created. And we're gonna press Control T, transformer, press and hold shift while you're moving it to keep her proportions the same. Gonna make her a bit smaller. That looks pretty good. Center her up. Maybe go against the center a bit, as this is a bit of a lopsided image. But that's pretty good. I like how she looks here. So now we're gonna get the Galaxy image. Again, all these images provided in the description. Feel free to press that link and download them. We're gonna click and drag this also into our Galaxy hair layer or file. And now, while selecting the Galaxy layer, we're gonna press and hold Alt, and you're gonna click between the two layers. And now you just masked over the Galaxy with the model's face. Now we have the basis of our entire Galaxy effect. So while selecting the Galaxy layer, feel free to move it around, do whatever you like, get the correct colors, or really whatever you want. If you want to capture this Galaxy inside of her hair, you can do that. I'd be careful about the pinks though. Pink is a pretty close color to white, and as our background is white, and I don't necessarily think this looks that great on other backgrounds. It's just something to be aware of, that contrast. I don't want to lose that. But there's a lot of stars here. Ooh, that looks pretty good, right? With the stars in her hair. I like that. I like this quite a bit. I'm actually just gonna... Yeah, that looks great. I love that. Cool. So now we have, again, the real subject matter of our Galaxy portrait. I'm gonna do some excess things here. So select your white background layer. You can unlock it just by pressing the lock. And we're gonna come over to our adjustment layers and we're gonna do a gradient. So you can see it doesn't look very good anymore. Come over to style. We're gonna do radial. You can also, it doesn't really matter because our background is white. You can select the black and white gradient. We're gonna reverse it. So now we have this white sphere in the middle with black edges, and we're gonna adjust the scale. What I'm doing here is really just allowing some contrast to happen inside of our image. So adjust that however you want. I think 600 is pretty good. I like how that looks on my screen. All right. And now what we're gonna do is gonna select, I'm just gonna add text to this. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you wanna write. You can write your name, you can write Galaxy hair tutorial. Oh, would you look at that? I have a thumbnail to my video. So black text kind of looks pretty boring with the Galaxy hair, the Galaxy portrait. So what you can do is you can press and hold Alt on the Galaxy layer, drag it up. Now you duplicated it and do the same thing. While pressing Alt, click between the two layers. You can apply that onto the text. It's pretty cool. You can do this with a lot of different things. If it's something is black and you have, if an image is black and you want to add Galaxy or whatever background really to it, this is a pretty cool trick of doing just that. So we're gonna adjust this however we want. See, you can tell the pink, it's kind of hard to read in the middle. I like the blue a bit more, that purple color. That looks really great. That looks awesome. So that is your Galaxy portrait effect. It's pretty cool. I like it quite a lot. Makes a super dope effect and it's super easy to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like or if you share it with anybody who may need help doing this effect. Again, this was Alex with Comp Designs, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can also check out my previous video, which was how to vectorize hand lettering in Photoshop. It's pretty cool. It's the foundation to all hand lettering projects, and I'd appreciate it if you check that out. All right, thanks guys.